Alright, ladies and gents, shall we have a look and talk about the Superman costume? Because it has been revealed in numerous set leaks now. We can see it here. We'll take a look a little bit more. Mr. Terrific is there as well. I mean, look, I don't know. I'm not massively a fan of the costume, not going to lie. It's not really my cup of tea. It's a victim of we'll fix it in post. Which is the case with a lot of these superhero movies. So when you do sit like this, it's not going to be the end result, obviously. In terms of how ill-fitting it is. You know, if you've seen Black Panther's costume without the post VFX, it looks awful as well. It's baggy, and then they sort of tighten it up in post. I don't really understand why they do that. I assume it's so the actors can kind of run around and jump and do all this other kind of stuff. But you should also just take a leaf out of like James Bond's book. James Bond, generally speaking, and this is true, would always have a few suits. So he'd have the ones where he just walks around in, which are tight. So he's just around. And then you'd have also the ones which are looser for doing all the stunts in. And all the high octane action. That's something Daniel Craig's James Bond did. Why don't they do it for these? Surely it would be cheaper to do that as well. Especially given that David Corenswet did work out. Like he got pretty jacked. He got pretty jacked, to be fair. So anyway, let's take a look. We'll kind of see what you guys think of it anyway. Follow me on Twitter, by the way, at Mist8Reviews. But I mean, here's some of it. As you can see, it's very bright. Which is massively in line with the comics. Don't get me wrong. I'm aware it's in line with the comics. I'm aware. It's very bright. I don't like the ribbing. I know that sounds a bit odd. But I don't like the ribbing. All of this stuff here floating around. I'm not a massive fan of that. It's a design language which James Gunn has used on a lot of his superhero movies. I'm not a massive fan of it. And you can see it here. But do you see how baggy and sort of loose it is? Not a fan. But there's Mr. Terrific next to him. And you can see you've got the trunks on. I don't know whether it translates. I mean, this is just me showing you and sort of talking my way through it, I guess. You let me know what you think down below. I think he looks great. Like, I think he, as an individual, David Corenswet, I think he's a good fit for Superman, actually. I mean, he does just look a bit like Henry Cavill, right? People say he's Henry Cavill with AI, which, you know what? I can sort of see that. But you know what that goes to show, don't you? Just how good the casting has been for Superman. So Henry Cavill was a fantastic Superman in terms of the casting. Sort of physicality and his looks and things. And, you know, you're following it up with someone that looks very, very reminiscent of him. So it's just good casting. But you can see it here. Do you see what I mean? It's very loose, isn't it? It's very baggy. Saggy McGee's there. It's got a bit of a paunch going on, I think they call that. And again, why don't they just have two costumes? They're not doing any action here. They just sort of stood around. Do you see? So, surely it would be cheaper to have two costumes than it would, you know, one tight and then one loose for all the action shots. They're not doing anything. They're just standing there. But I think this goes some way to explaining the bloat that comes from these superhero movies. And don't get me wrong, James Bond is bloated. They're bloated movies as well. They're way, 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 way too expensive. But that's one thing which they do very well. And you can see it here again. It's just it's saggy McBaggy, isn't it? Saggins, Bilbo Saggins, Saggins McMaggins. It's just anyway. Yeah, I don't know. It's not my cup of tea. Not gonna lie. So, but if we have a look at it and we just kind of look at generally what people are saying about it. Again, you see here, it's not a bad costume, and it is very comic accurate. I just don't think it translates to screen, to live action very well. Thoughts? What do you guys think? There are some people saying that this, the costume itself is going to be a different one than the one we'd seen in the other image where he's sort of slowly putting his boots on. Don't know about that. don't know if that is the case, because it could be different, but I mean, it looks pretty much the same, to be fair. And then people are comparing it, Superman versus Cosplay Man. I don't know. I don't know. Again, it could be fixed in post. You look at the Black Panther stuff, Black Panther looks garbage. But I don't think it looks that good. I think overall the costume isn't particularly great. It's very vibrant. Very, 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 very vibrant. And sometimes that stuff just doesn't translate very well to screen. You know, to live action. And again, people really comparing it here. Sort of CW level stuff. Because, I mean, even Superman from the CW looks... I don't know, that costume is honestly a bit better. It is honestly a bit better. But he's got the look. But this is what I mean. So, like, this here... Right, Oh, this is a good... I mean, it's quite literally a good comparison there. You see Mr. Terrific and that. Mr. Terrific looks pretty decent, I think. But you see the muted colours. Right, the muted colours there. I think are a bit better. I think it's... I mean, this is what they're trying to emulate here. But I don't think that looks very well. I just don't think it translates to live action. But hey, look, you know, I could be wrong. Again, this is what... I think I tweeted this out and I was like, this looks atrocious. Because it does look atrocious. Genuinely does look atrocious. There was... We'll click on here. Because there was some images rendered of some set pieces where he's saving... a train. We'll see if they've shared it here. They might have done. If they have, you'll see, I guess... What is that? It's just someone's bum. Alright. You'll see what it's going to look like, I guess, in action. Or what it will potentially look like in action. I think Lois Lane casting's pretty decent. They're coming down in Mr. Terrific's... I don't know. Ship. Because Mr. Terrific has a ship. Again, here you go. Here's the ship that they come out of. Again, it's not bad. It's not bad. It's just I just don't think it translates very well to live action. But so here's some of what it could potentially look like. So here's an image of like a news report. It's like on a piece of newspaper. It looks better, but still a bit Saggins McBaggins. Bilbo Saggins. There was one where he's stopping a train. Again, look, it's a bit loosey McGoosey. How many times can we call it something different? Miss Terrific, yeah, it's alright, I guess. I don't know. I'm very sort of undecided on it all at this point in time. What do you guys think, though? Some of it's pretty decent. Again, ripped pretty much straight from the comics. Yeah, it is. But does everything translate directly from the comics? I don't think it always does. But anyway, I mean, I don't really have much else to say, to be fair. Oh, here it is. Do you see? Do you see? Here it is. So here's what it will look like in action, I guess. So this is it in action, right? This is what I wanted to show you. I don't think it looks very different, to be honest. Because this is a screenshot of a newspaper, the Daily Planet. And again, this is what it's going to look like. This gives us an idea of what it's going to look like in post. I don't know. It's alright, I guess. It's still a bit loosey McGoosey. What do you guys think? The great debate of Superman. Not my cup of tea, I don't think. I just don't think it always translates. I think it should have been a bit more muted. Not as vibrant. But again, they might fix it in post. Thoughts? Leave them down below. Cheers, guys. Take care. Bye-bye now.